Hey guys, it's Brittany. Welcome back to Off Days. Today we are going to be talking all about the face of college basketball, not just women's college basketball, men's college basketball too, Miss Caitlin Clark. And I'm so excited. I've been wanting to talk about her for a long time, and with everything going on this week with the NCAA tournament, Big Three, the antics with her dad on the court, we are going to dive into all of it. But first, guys, do me a favor. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel for more content about sports, social media, photography, all the things, growing on social media, personal branding for athletes, everything like that. Please subscribe, like, comment, so I know that you guys are locked in and tuned in to the podcast, the videos, the vlogs, all the things. All right, so let's get into it. Caitlin Clark recently became the all-time scoring leader in points for women's college basketball, men's college basketball, all of college basketball. She has over 3,830 points, recently passing Miss 𝚍𝚉 from the University of Washington, who now plays for the Las Vegas 𝚻𝚎𝚝, and Pete Maravich. Like, insane. Like, that is so many freaking points. So a lot of people have been saying, do you think Caitlin Clark is the GOAT of college basketball? No, I don't. And here's why. I feel like you got to get a natty. Like, you got to get a natty, right? Like, you got to do all that and get a natty. If we are talking strictly statistics, yeah, sure. She's the GOAT. She is amazing, scoring, rebounding, assists, triple doubles, you name it. But she does not have a national championship on her resume. And I feel like if we're talking GOAT, greatest of all time, winning has to be, she's winning, and she's winning, Big Ten championships. I feel like she has to get a natty, y'all. Like, for me, like what Breanna Stewart did at UConn, absolutely insane, going 4 for 4. Like, she said she was going to go 4 for 4, and she did it. She did it at UConn. I think she was part of that group that was like 113-0 and broke like the all-time consecutive wins record or something like that. Super crazy. I also think even someone like A'ja Wilson and what she did for South Carolina, getting Dawn her first natty. Listen, if A'ja doesn't stay home and go to South Carolina, the dominance that we see South Carolina today with Aaliyah Boston and so many of these other great players that get drafted every year and have amazing professional careers, I don't think that South Carolina is South Carolina without A'ja Wilson. And she wins a natty, and then just like the success that followed South Carolina for that is like, we don't have that. I think also, obviously, Candace Parker at Tennessee is another one. She got a natty. Maya Moore. And then obviously going back even further, you look at like Diana and Sue Bird, and I grew up watching them and just love watching them play and how competitive they are and everything like that. So I don't know. Like, for me, I wouldn't quite say GOAT. I definitely feel like she's in the conversation. And granted, she is doing what she's doing at a Power 5, but she needs a natty to get my nod for GOAT. But we'll see. She still has time to get it done. Earlier this week, there has been a lot of controversy with Caitlin and her antics. If you saw the game against Holy Cross and the game against West Virginia, she looks a little frustrated. I guess you could say a little rattled. To me personally, it looks like she's playing with a lot of pressure. Like, she's putting pressure on herself and her team to get a natty and get back to a Final Four and just give herself the best chance to win and compete for one. So in the Holy Cross game, she headbutted the ball, and they kept showing it in slow motion. And then, of course, it gets on Twitter and everyone's replaying it. She's yelling at her dad in the stands, and then she kind of had a little run-in with the ref during, was it a timeout or halftime? And I'm just like, whoa. Granted, she's always been a player, as most superstar players are, to kind of work the refs, ask for calls, that whole thing. You know, superstar players get more calls. It is what it is. They expect it. The refs give it to them, whatever. We all know that. But she was just on another level with it in the first 2 games. The West Virginia game, she turned, I guess it was to her dad, and literally said, "Shut the F up." It looked like it was to the crowd, but then it panned to her dad. So I don't really know who it was for too, but I was again like, girl, like, calm down. Do you know how many cameras are on you? And yeah, I feel like it was a little over the top. It was a bit much. Like, it just looked bad. But then here's the thing. We're not having this conversation if the top player in men's college basketball or the NBA does it. Like, you look at LeBron, you look at all these other guys that complain and, you know, show their frustration, you know, they're considered edgy and competitive. When a girl does it, she's classless. She's not a good role model. I don't want my daughter, like, watching her, like, blah, 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 blah. And I feel like if you haven't played sports before, like, do you not get it? Like, people, you know, say curse words, unfortunately, if you think that's a problem, when they're upset, or even when you're, you know, making a good play. Like, it's part of being an athlete and being competitive, that you have this whole other side of you that just, like, wants to win. And I feel like because of who she is and because she's a female, she's held, of course, to a different standard. And it's like, we're not even talking about this if it's a guy. So I don't know. I do feel like it was a little over the top, but it's also like, if a guy did it, we're not sitting here talking about it. So anyways, also during the West Virginia game, it was a really good game. It was super physical. It was like a high level women's game that everybody, if you're a women's hooper, like, you want to be a part of a game like that, especially with a trip to the Sweet 16 on the line. So listen though, as soon as the game got close, like, I knew what was about to happen. West Virginia, it was kind of like back and forth. Like, Iowa would get a lead and then West Virginia would come back all the way down to the fourth quarter. So when it got close late in the fourth quarter, we knew the refs were going to take control of the game. They understood the assignment. And it sucks because I, more than anyone, love a good upset. I'm all for it. I love it. However, like the rest of the world, I want to continue to watch Caitlin Clark play college basketball. The refs knew what they had to do to make that happen for us. And it's unfortunate for West Virginia. They were just, you know, in the way. They were in the way of giving us what we wanted. And the NCAA and everybody has to mooch off Caitlin and make as much money off of her as possible. She doesn't have that many more games left in her career. On top of that, if they meet up with LSU for a rematch of last year's national championship game, like, the world is going to explode. Like, Twitter might be broke if that happens. And we know it's going to happen because it's scripted or whatever. And I'm excited for it. I'm here for it. And it sucks. But, like, everyone on Twitter was, like, talking about the refs. And I'm like, y'all, come on. Like, we all know what was going to happen. And there were a lot of controversial calls. I agree. But at the end of the day, like, we all want to see Caitlin play. The refs had to do what they had to do. If West Virginia would have won, everybody would have been happy about it. But would y'all have been locked in to watch them play the next game as much? Probably not. So I don't know. Like, it sucks, but I get it. So earlier this year, there was another controversial thing going on with Caitlin when 𝙱𝚝 came out on a podcast and basically said that she didn't think that Caitlin would, like, dominate in the league or have early success or something along those lines, and that when she breaks the record, it's not the same because she had the COVID year, which Caitlin has not taken her COVID year, and 𝙱𝚝 kind of, like, backtracked on that and, you know, whatever. But a lot of people started talking about the future for her. So do I think that she is just going to step into the league and dominate and just get triple doubles and 30, 40 points? No, I don't. But I'm excited because I feel like we are going to just truly see how elite and talented Caitlin is at the next level. if you look at her stats, sometimes we get so locked in on her logo threes in comparison to Steph and the points that she's scoring that you miss how she reads the game. You miss her passes, her rebounding, and how she makes plays for other people and things like that. And I feel like she's doing what she has to do for her team to win at Iowa, which is put the ball in the basket and score, right? And she's not going to have to score 30 to 40 points at the league, especially playing with the veteran guards that Indiana has and Aaliyah Boston. She's not going to have to do all that. She's not going to have to carry the load herself. And I feel like she'll be able to relax a little bit more, make plays, make passes. And I think she's going to do really well. And I think that for the people that maybe like doubt her, I think that she's going to just really show everybody, like, I can do more than, play. Like, when she has better players around her, she's going to be able to do even more. So I'm super excited. I don't think she's going to come in right away and just get it. Like, there's obviously going to be, like, a transition period. She's a rookie, and all rookies go through things like that. But by the end of the year, I think she's going to be Caitlin Clark and just in her own way be a successful professional women's basketball player. So for that, I'm super excited. And the last thing, was it yesterday? Yes, it was yesterday that came out that Caitlin got a $5 million offer to play in the Big Three, which is, if you don't know, it's a professional men's 3-on-3 league that happens in the summer, kind of after or right before the NBA season, I believe. Is it in the summer? Yeah, I think it's in the summer. And she got an offer to play in that. And basically, it's for kind of like old heads, like retired, older NBA type players. Super competitive. It's not just your typical like 3-on-3 game. Like there's, rules, and they're coached and they're getting paid and they're traveling from city to city. And the internet exploded yesterday. Like, people were coming out saying, like, I think it was Steven Jackson that was like, she shouldn't do it because, like, I don't think he said she would get embarrassed, but he was like, she wouldn't score because she's going to be playing against grown-ass men who grew up playing like I played in the hood, barefoot, glass, and they're just going to, like, be D'ing her up. And from an entertainment perspective, like, yes, like, I want to, like, I feel like we all would be tuned in to watch that. But I feel like she has a tough decision to make because, A, like, you don't want to get hurt. You don't want to, like, what are people going to say? I don't know. Like, you don't want to not be successful at it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you don't want to do it and then you just play bad and you give people ammunition as to, like, oh, she shouldn't have done it, yada, 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 whatever. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what she does. Do I want her to do it? Yes. Do I think she'll do it? I don't know. What do you guys think? Comment down below. A lot of other people, though, were like, why her? There's so many other female athletes that could have been playing in this league. Why her? And I get it. Caitlin gets a lot of attention for just existing at this point. Anything she does, goes viral. But it's all about money. Like, that is a strategic business money move. I don't think it's about who other players. I don't think it's a knock on other players. I think it's all about money. Caitlin right now is the hottest brand and name in basketball. And people are just trying to capitalize off of her and get paid. Because by doing that, the Big Three and Ice Cube and them are going to tap into a whole nother market of people from Iowa. Like, y'all know how supportive Iowa basketball fans are. Like, that's a whole nother market. You're reaching a whole nother demographic just from her alone. So if she does do it, it's obviously a smart business move. But I don't know. We'll see. I feel like if you're her, you have to really evaluate the risks that are involved with playing in that. So I don't know. I don't think she's going to do it, but I really want her to do it. So we'll see. Anyways, I'm a huge fan of Caitlin Clark, and no matter how you look at it, I feel like she has changed the game. She, gets all of this attention, and I feel like she handles it extremely well. I can't imagine being in the limelight like that and just having so many cameras on you at all times. But, you know, I personally feel like she's earned it and she's deserved it. The amount of people that are tuned in to basketball because of her is like insane. And I feel like a lot of people want to compare her or say, oh, well, this person and that person. But you have to realize that women's basketball, especially at college, it wasn't mainstream as much as it was when Kelsey Plum played, or when Candace Parker, Kelsey Mitchell, Maya Moore, Breanna Stewart, all of these great players that came before her. It wasn't as mainstream. There wasn't NIL. Social media wasn't as big. And so for Caitlin and Angel too, really, to kind of, change that narrative and to get people watching the game, I think what they have done is just insane. And I feel like the game is only going to grow when, Hannah Hidalgo at Notre Dame and Juju at USC are seniors. It might be even 10 times more crazy and supportive than it is now with Caitlin. And I feel like she's just really set the tone and just, accomplished so much for the game, however you want to look at it. And I feel like you really can't compare her to the attention that other people in the past have gotten. I think we just need to continue to move forward and just continue to support women's basketball. And it's also kind of hard because you look at a player like 𝙻𝚎𝚝 at Syracuse, and there was no publicity on her this year, and she moved into, what was it, 5th all time, or was it 3rd? I can't remember, but she's, up there too. And so I feel like now that we've seen the power of what the media can do with someone like Caitlin Clark, I definitely feel like it's time to highlight and support all of these other athletes that are, doing great things, and just not have our eyes on one person, but kind of spread it out. We've seen what it can do. We know that Caitlin Clark, is amazing, and all these other people that kind of like your Paige Beckers and Angel Reese, Flage, players like that. But, now I think it's time that we continue just to support women's basketball and, find other players and superstars like that and just continue to build them up and grow this game. So that's all I have for you guys today. Caitlin Clark, we'll see what you do this weekend. They play Colorado. And I will say before I go that Colorado beat LSU earlier this year. Colorado's in the Pac-12, which, in my opinion, best conference from top to bottom in the nation. They're not going to be scared. They're scrappy, well coached. So I think it's going to be a good game. And y'all, the Colorado players recently came out in one of their press conferences and basically kind of said they're going to try to get in Caitlin's head that she's very emotional and we're going to use that against her. And I was like, you guys said that before the game. That's only going to fuel her even more. She's going to be so locked in and ready, I feel like. And I feel like it's going to be a great game. But if the refs understand the assignment, we know who's going to win. We know who's going to win because LSU and Iowa are so close to playing the rematch, and I'm here for it. So we will see what happens. But for now, it's Caitlin Clark's world, y'all, and we are just living in it, hoping that we get 3 or 4 more games out of her before her college career ends. Yeah, insane numbers. 3,080. Oh my gosh. No. Let me backtrack. She is the first D1 player with 3,000 plus points, 800 plus rebounds, and 900 plus assists. She currently has 3,830 career points, 1,105 career assists, and 960 career rebounds. So she's almost at 1,000 career rebounds. Y'all, the numbers are insane. They speak for themselves. She's not my GOAT yet, but will she get a natty this year? Only time will tell. So that's all I have for you guys today. Y'all, make sure you subscribe to the channel for all the content, for all the things. Follow me on my socials. Everything is linked down below. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Make sure you guys tune in. Men's college basketball starts tonight, which is Thursday when I'm filming this. So we have hoops for the next 4 days, men's and women's. I'm so locked in. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, you guys, thank you so much for all the love and support. Hopefully this recorded this time. I think it did. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.